Welcome to Silicon Valley Nonprofits, a service of KMVT Community Media. I'm Bev Lenihan, your host. Today, our guest is Alicia Ruiz, Community Manager for Relay for Life. Thank you for coming today, Alicia.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Well, I know Relay for Life is associated with the Cancer Society, and we're going to talk about that, but this is a really busy time for you. You've got a lot going on. So tell us about the relays that you have going on, and then describe a little bit about what a Relay for Life is.
Absolutely. Relay for Life is exciting. It is a very busy time of year. I personally manage 4 events here in the Bay Area, but I work on a team that manages events from San Francisco down to King City, and there's about 30 between there.
30? My goodness.
It's quite a few, and I only have 4 of those. So actually tomorrow I have Stanford University. Preparing for that. First week of June, I work with volunteers in Half Moon Bay to put on their events. That following weekend is Silicon Valley North, which is a new event for our relay. It is a combination of Sunnyvale, Mountain View, and Los Altos.
Very nice.
I'm very excited about theirs. And then I wrap up my season in August with Relay for Life of Menlo Park.
Excellent. That's a lot, because I know personally what it takes to put one of them on. It's a lot of behind-the-scenes logistics, for sure.
It is, and they're manned by wonderful volunteers.
So tell us how you first got involved in this whole area of Relay for Life and the Cancer Society.
So Relay for Life, I actually participated in high school with Relay for Life of Willow Glen, and it was an awesome experience. It was more at the time to be out with friends, and it was that all-night get to camp out kind of experience. And then kind of went about the rest of high school and college, and when I graduated was looking for a job in which I could really help people and make a difference in the American Cancer Society, and this position with Relay for Life came about, and took it and have just enjoyed the past year and a half of getting to know my volunteers and working with this organization.
So it's a fairly new position for you, and you just dove right in, right?
It's kind of what you do.
Wow. Well, sort of describe what a Relay for Life consists of, because there's several elements to the event.
Yeah, so Relay for Life is a 24-hour event. The idea is that cancer doesn't sleep, so for 24 hours we won't either. It varies community to community based on what works best for those participants. But it starts usually in the morning or with an opening ceremony, and it is our chance to get everybody excited and going, and we have speakers. And right after that, we start with something that I absolutely love. It's called our Survivors Lap. So Relay for Life is not just the signature fundraiser of the American Cancer Society. It's a chance for us to honor cancer survivors, remember those we lost, and to really also bring attention to our caregivers who go through their own journey of themselves. So our first lap is led by those survivors, and then they're joined by their caregivers, and we honor them and cheer them on. And then from there, the event really kicks off, and it is a 12 to 24 hours of games and music and food
walking laps.
And walking laps.
And sometimes running, but mostly walking.
Yeah, mostly walking. And the idea is that the community puts together teams. So there's teams from churches, from local businesses, from schools.
Rotary Club.
Kiwanis Club. And we have in this community itself, Kiwanis of Los Altos has come out to participate in our events, as well as El Camino Hospital, the Mountain View Leo Lions from the high school.
All volunteers.
All volunteers, all out to have a really good time. And the idea is that you keep one person from the track, from your team on the track at all times.
Yes, that's the
fun
challenge for the 24 hours.
Absolutely. The evening is probably one of my favorite ceremonies. It's called our Luminaria ceremony.
Yes.
And it is a chance for us to really kind of take a moment to reflect and remember those we've lost to this terrible disease. We do a slideshow with photos and music. We tend to have a speaker at that time as well. But the best part is actually that throughout the day and even leading up to the event, our volunteers, our participants decorate their white bags, but they're decorated in memory or in honor of someone you've lost, or who's currently still battling, just someone you want to remember. And those are actually placed throughout our track, and they line our track, and they're lit with candles throughout the night. And it's a beautiful, beautiful moment.
That's what I remember so vividly.
Yeah.
And usually there's a place where you've got bags up on the stands as well, and you light a little phrase up there like hope or something like that.
Yes, it's hope. It's usually hope, because that is our big message throughout the event, is spreading hope.
Well, my husband and I are both survivors, and so we have walked many of those Luminaria walks. He bagpipes for many of them and leads people around, and it's always very, very special for us. And of course, we've had many in our lives who've had cancer. So, and I would imagine we can look at anyone and everyone today who's got a loved one who's or themselves who have had cancer.
It's really hard not to speak to someone who hasn't been touched in some way.
That's right. And that's why these relays sort of bring everything to life again and rekindle that hope, don't they?
Yeah, it really does.
For that whole experience, either personal or with someone you love, someone you take care of. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to also ask what you think makes these relays so very memorable. What have been some of the experiences that you've been told that makes them memorable for people?
Oh my goodness. You will get a different answer from anyone you talk to. Everyone has a different reason to relay. Personally, for myself, it is the opportunity to work with volunteers. These events are entirely volunteer driven. I work for the American Cancer Society, and I provide them with the materials they need, with the coaching and the mentoring to kind of do this.
To the volunteers.
To the volunteers. For me, it's watching months to a year's worth of work kind of culminate into this event. Luminaria ceremony is always very special for me. Last year at one of my events, we actually had a Boy Scout walk the full 24 hours.
Oh my goodness.
And I got back in the morning, and they said,
he was still there walking.
He was still walking. He was out of a Boy Scout troop out of Sunnyvale, and it was amazing. I had one volunteer. We had at my Relay for Life in Menlo Park, we had an ACS CAN volunteer there, and she came up to me afterwards and she goes, I just met the doctor who worked on the immunotherapy drugs that essentially saved my life.
Oh my goodness.
So that was really amazing as well.
So touching.
Just a chance to be able to share the programs and services we offer to people who really need them is something that's really memorable. It in itself is just an amazing event.
Yes, I've seen families come out, and the children, they may not exactly know what it's all about, but they begin to see some of the symbols like the Luminaria and the filling out the names on the bags and decorating them and all, and it becomes it will be memorable later in their lives. It will come back to them for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's all important. So you said it takes almost a year to pull these things together. I know you look for volunteers, so what's the best way for people who might be interested in getting involved in a relay to be involved?
Absolutely. There is our website, cancer.org, and on there's a section you can go under and volunteer. You fill out a simple form, and then one of our representatives will be in touch with you and have a conversation, just talk a little bit about. We really like to work with our volunteers as far as finding out what works best with your schedule, what do you want to get out of a volunteer experience, and overall we provide several different options. There's more than relay to get involved with, and from there they'll kind of connect you with the next person.
Wonderful. So it's a process, but it's personal too.
Yes, it's a very personal touches.
Well, Alicia, thanks so much for being here today and for the work that you're doing and for all the people that are benefiting as a result of it. Good luck on your relays this coming months, and enjoy your summer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.